Today on ZZZ Made Easy, we're serving up some ice cold stuns with Lycaon. We'll cover his main mechanics, how to build them, and some teams you can go into. At the end of the video, we'll discuss a few extra tidbits. Lycaon is S-rank ice stun agent from Victoria Housekeeping. He is a standard gacha S-rank, so you can run into him whenever you lose the 50-50. As of the time of this video, right before Season 2 starts, Lycaon is the sole ice stun agent. There are only 4 other ice agents in the game, and Lycaon works as a pillar for all of them. He can shred ice resistance and has a more general stun damage multiplier anyone can use. Lycaon is a fairly straightforward stunner and proves to still be quite useful even after ZZZ's first year. Starting with Lycaon's basic attack string, he does a 5-part combo dealing physical damage. The first 3 hits are on the ground, while the 4th and 5th basic moves are aerial moves. Both of these do have iframes while in the air. For the most part, you're never going to use these normal basic attacks because Lycaon's main mechanic is being able to charge his attacks. To do so, simply hold the basic attack button. Charging the basic attack will alter Lycaon's 5-part combo into a 3-part combo. This is because the charged basic will combine the first 3 moves into one string, the second charged input is the normal 4th basic, and the third charged input is the normal 5th finishing move. This alteration does mean you need to hold the basic attack button, then release, hold then release, hold then release. Lycaon will automatically do the move when fully charged, meaning you can release the button as soon as you see him start to act. At this point, you can start the next hold input, repeat for all 3 parts. For the 5th charge basic, it has 2 charge levels. It's very subtle, but the level 1 charge does less hits than the full level 2 charge. The only reason to do the level 1 charge is so you can get the iframes from it while in the air. Basically, it's just a timing thing depending on the enemy. You should always try to get the full level 2 charge off. Lycaon can actually mix regular and charged basic attacks. For example, you can do 2 regular basic attacks, charge the 3rd, do a regular 4th, then do a charged 5th. If you end up messing the timing, you can just keep going. If you haven't noticed, the charged basic attacks all deal ice damage. This allows Lycaon to benefit from, say, an ice damage drive disc. The charged basic attacks also naturally deal more daze buildup. This is further emphasized with Lycaon's core passive. When Lycaon fully charges his basic attacks, they deal 80% more daze. This is at core passive level F. Thanks to this, there isn't really any reason not to charge Lycaon's basics. They will all deal ice damage, it doesn't take that much longer to charge, and then 80% more daze. Now, there is a second part to the core passive. When Lycaon's EX special or assist follow-up attack hits an enemy, their ice resistance is lowered by 25% for 30 seconds. This effect gives us the second part of Lycaon's main gameplay loop. Every 30 seconds, you want to land an EX special or the perfect assist follow-up attack. Fairly generous timer and not that hard to execute. Let's talk about these moves next. Lycaon's regular special is a basic upper kick. You can hold the special button and Lycaon can charge this move for extra damage and daze. If Lycaon has 60 energy, he will instead do his EX special. By tapping the button, he will do a quick combo and this only costs 40 energy. If you hold the special button, Lycaon can charge up the EX special for another 20 energy. This extended combo will deal more damage and daze, but its damage and daze per energy value is about the same as the uncharged version. Basically, unlike his basic attacks, you don't have to always do the fully charged EX special. You can use either version depending on your situation. For example, maybe you're close to a stun already, so you can just use the tap 40 energy version. If you're in a dangerous situation, you can use the fully charged EX special to iframe a longer lasting attack. Do take note though that the charged portion of the EX special has very little stickiness or movement. If the enemy moves around, then the extended kicks may just miss entirely. For Lycaon's perfect defensive assist, he has the regular version, meaning he will consume 2 assist points to parry the harder hitting attacks. This isn't the best, but thanks to the core passive, Lycaon will apply his 25% Ice Red Shred when you land the follow-up attack portion. Swapping in with Perfect Assist allows Lycaon to reapply that debuff, and you can save your energy for an EX special cast later on. There is one more mechanic for Lycaon's gameplay, and that's from his additional ability. This requires a fellow ice agent or a Victoria Housekeeping agent. When Lycaon hits a stunned enemy, he will increase the stun damage multiplier by 35%. This buff will apply anytime Lycaon hits the stunned foe. You could have Lycaon do this during a chain attack, but he also applies the buff if he is the one to start the chain attack sequence. As a stunner, this is most likely going to happen, so Lycaon immediately gives the bonus. This allows you to immediately get the extra damage with your chain attacks, and you don't have to bring Lycaon out again if you don't want it. With that covered, let's review Lycaon's general game plan. When on field, Lycaon wants to always charge his basic attacks. They will deal ice damage, do extra days, and the core passive grants even more days. They don't really take that long to charge either. Before you bring out your ice damage dealers, you want to land Lycaon's EX special or his persist follow-up attack for the 25% ice resistant shred, reapply this debuff every 30 seconds, and especially have it up for the stun phase. Speaking of stuns, you ideally want to get the first chain attack off with Lycaon. This will count for his addition ability and apply the 35% stun damage multiplier right there. That's pretty much it for Lycaon's gameplay. Not very complicated once you get the timing for the charged basic attacks. Let's continue talking about Lycaon's other moves though. Lycaon's chain attack is nothing special. If you start a stun with another ally, you can send Lycaon in to apply his stun damage multiplier bonus before your main DPS comes in last. Besides that use case though, it's just a basic pure damage move. Lycaon's ultimate is similar, but its main purpose is a big burst of daze buildup. Do be wary of stunning too fast with the ultimate. Only Lycaon's EX special and perfect assist apply the ice resistance shred debuff, so you generally want to include one of those in between stuns. Just something to know. The last main move Lycaon will use is his dodge counter. Lycaon has one of those super quick dodge counter attacks, which means you can spam it on back-to-back multi-hit attacks. However, because it's so short, you do not get a lot of iframes. Against super fast attacks, you really need to be ready to dodge again. The same is going to apply to Lycaon's quick assist. This is because the quick assist uses the same animation as the dodge counter. If there is an opening, you can hold the basic attack button when doing your dodge counter inputs. This will automatically make Lycaon start his charged basic attack combo. If you hold the basic attack button during any of Lycaon's other moves as they finish, he will also go into his charged basic attacks. This isn't really a shortcut, but for the dodge counter, it is one less button press. Due to Lycaon's hold and release timing, I generally just like to do the extra button press to keep that rhythm going. As a stun agent, it's good to know Lycaon's heavy attacks, which are the moves that can trigger a chain attack. Like most agents, Lycaon's chain attack, ultimate, and assist follow-up are all heavy hits, no surprises there. All variations of Lycaon's special are heavy attacks, regular and EX versions, uncharged and charged. When it comes to his regular basic attacks, only Lycaon's 5th basic is a heavy attack. This takes a bit to get to, but that's okay because all of Lycaon's charged basics are heavy hits. Technically speaking, it's the 3rd individual attack that is a heavy hit when charged up. Lycaon just combines his first 3 parts into one move if you hold the button down. As for the 4th and 5th charge attack versions, these are both heavy attacks too. The first charged basic attack input is very useful. A lot of stunners need to use their specials for their fastest heavy attack, and this might make them use their EX special, which is wasteful. Lycaon can do his charged basic without any worries about wasting energy. One use case for this tactic is initiating double chain attack combos. To do this, you want to start the first chain attack with Lycaon to activate his addition ability. After your deepest agent uses the first chain, you want to cancel the second chain attack prompt. At this point, you swap back to Lycaon and you do the hold basic attack. This will be a heavy attack which triggers the 3rd chain attack prompt, assuming it's a big boss. With that method, you can then send the same agent out for a 2nd chain attack. This tactic is very useful for Hugo, who is a super burst focused unit, but you can use this for anyone. Some game mode modifiers also boost chain attack damage, so that's another possible use case. Do know, you won't be able to chain attack with your 3rd ally, and obviously you're not chain attacking with Lycaon either. 2 chain attacks from your main DPS agent though may be worth the trade-off. For the next topic, I want to tangent on something that is not really fit for a casual guide, but you can look into it more if you're curious. For those not aware, the ice anomaly freeze can pause the stun timer. It only pauses for as long as the enemy is frozen, and as most attacks are going to end the freeze state with shatter. I mainly bring this up because Hugo benefits directly the more stun time is left on an enemy. You can time freeze before his EX special or ultimate, then he can squeeze out a little more damage. This applies to other agents too. Ellen, for example, can cast her ultimate, which only shatters at the very end. She can also use that frozen time to set up a charged scissor strike to gain more stacks. With Miyabi, there is some very advanced tech you can do with the freeze and stuns. This is mainly enabled by Miyabi's unique frost attribute also causing freeze. Basically, you can get multiple freeze activations during the same stun phase, and this allows Miyabi to cast her longer lasting but powerful moves. You're also causing disorder between ice and frost attributes, which give Miyabi Shimotsuki stacks. I don't own Lycaon on the same account as Miyabi, so I can only showcase this in Lost Void. Excuse my gameplay, but hopefully this showcases the insane potential people can get out of this combo. It is quite something to watch Miyabi do 3 or 4 Shimotsukis in one stun phase. This type of insane setup is one case where Lycaon's physical damage regular basics can be useful. It will take longer to stun an enemy, but you can save that freeze trigger for the stun phase. Getting back on track, let's talk about Lycaon's build. Aside from special cases like the Miyabi freeze setup, Lycaon just wants to stack as much impact as possible so he can stun faster. After that, you can build damage with crit stats, attack, and damage bonuses. Lycaon's signature is the Restrained. This is a standard gacha S-rank, so maybe you have a copy already. It also can be bought in the shop for residual signal, but its cost is equivalent to 30 gacha pulls. Now, the Restrained has a 82% impact main stat, and on any hit, increases the damage and days of basic attacks by 6% for 8 seconds. This can stack up to 5 times for plus 30% damage and days. Each stack is calculated independently, so you need to keep attacking to retain the full bonus. The Restrain just reiterates Lycaon's core passive, boosting his charged basic attacks days buildup. Sadly, none of these days bonuses affect Lycaon's other moves. If you're just going to use Lycaon for EX specials or perfect assists, then there may be better options. The Restrained is the best option though if you want Lycaon to deal more damage, well, at least through basic attacking. For other options, Kaleda's Hellfire Gears is another standard gacha W engine. It focuses on off-field energy regen, and when using an EX special, you get extra impact. If Lycaon's off-field, perfect assist him in, then EX special for a nice burst of days. For the A-rank craftables, Steam Oven is the energy-focused option similar to Hellfire Gears. It has a 50% energy regen main stat, and the more energy you have, the more in-combat impact you can get. If Lycaon is base attacking on field, he will generate more energy to stack up faster. If you just want pure stunning power, Precious Fossilized Core is a great craftable. Its days bonus when the enemy is above 75% will work the entire time for the assault if you're just going to go for that 20k 3-star score. If you're looking for an alternate limited gacha S rank, Lighter's Blazing Laurel can work well for Lycaon. You need to stack it 20 times for 30% crit damage for ice and fire agents. It counts individual basic attack hits though, and Lycaon I believe does 14 hits with his 3 charged basic attacks. The effect will last for 30 seconds, and the timer resets when any basic attack hits the foe. That means it's very easy to upkeep once you get it going, and it also has a 25% impact bonus if you perfect assist or quick assist in. It's a great option for a little more crit damage for any fire or ice allies. For Drive Disc, Lycaon wants the usual stunner main stats, crit rate in partition 4, ice damage partition 5, and impact partition 6. For substats, there's really nothing else to build besides damage stats like crit or attack. For 4-piece sets, Shockstar Disco is the main on-field stunner set, more impact from the 2-piece, and basic attacks, dash attacks, and dodge counters get 20% more days. With Lycaon's charged basic attack focus, Shockstar fits him very well. Generally, 2-piece Swing Jazz is a nice accompaniment since more EX specials means more burst of days buildup. You can also use 2-piece Woodpecker or Polar Metal though for extra damage stats. If you find Lycaon is stunning fast enough, you can run other 4-piece sets. You can get very weird or creative with it. For example, if you end up running a double stunner team, Lycaon could carry a support set. 4-piece Swing Jazz can boost team damage on chain attacks or ultimates. 4-piece Protopunk can boost team damage after perfect assists. That is more useful outside stuns, but the 2-piece is going to be worthless for Lycaon. Now, Lycaon won't activate it himself, but he can carry Astral Voice for his team. Not really ideal, but it's an option. As for Freedom Blues, this can be a specialized set for the Ice team to set up more freezes. The extra Ice Anomaly buildup can also affect Miyabi's Frost. Generally speaking, Miyabi and Lycaon will also be using Sokaku for more Ice Anomaly. I think she is a better Freedom Blues holder, although Sokaku could also just run another support set too. Most of the current 4-piece support sets are a bit weird for Lycaon. If there is a better support set for stunners in the future, he can run that instead. For teams, Lycaon's stun damage multiplier bonus is a great boost for anyone, but to get it, you need Ice Agents or Victoria Housekeeping members. That will restrict them a little. Thankfully, Lycaon works extremely well for all the ice damage dealers. At the time of this video, Hugo just released and Lighter is back on his rerun. These three make an excellent double stun team. Lighter and Lycaon have a variety of buffs for Hugo, and they can take turns getting fast stuns. Hugo can deal his totalized nuke, end the stun phase, and refund days all in one go to help repeat the process. This is a super functional and fun team from the boys. Now Lycaon can work with other stunners to set up Hugo, great with the off-field aftershock stunners, or he could take the back seat if you want to try Qingyi. That would give a plus 115% stun damage multiplier bonus. That would be kind of funny to see. You just can't mess up Qingyi's enhanced basic attacks. While not an attack agent, Miyabi can build crit stats and deals great burst damage during stun phases. Like we discussed earlier, she can combine her Frost Freeze with the regular Ice Freeze to prolong the stun phase. You can then take things further by setting Lycaon and Sukaku up with anomaly builds to get more disorders. This team can have a very high skill ceiling, but you can also just play it like a normal stun support team. Speaking of which, the classic 1.0 standardized team with Ellen is alright. Ellen isn't in the best spot, but Lycaon and Sukaku provide a ton of buffs for ice agents. The ice stun support duo will also work well for Hugo. On the Victoria housekeeping side, Lycaon is a decent stunner for Corrin. You can use the extra stun damage multiplier with her extra damage during stuns. You can also use Rena for her pen ratio buffing, but any support works in this slot. Lucy, Nicole, or Astra are all good. You can also use Caesar for her shield and attack buffs, plus extra days build up for more stunning. With Lycaon and Rena, you can use these two with some of the limited S-rank attackers. Most of them just require a stun or support agent, which the Victoria housekeeping duo will fulfill. For example, you can use Harimasa or Duyuan to take advantage of Lycaon's on-field stuns. Since Rena is electric, Anton can also be used. Lycaon can act like a mini Qingyi replacement here. On that topic, if you really like Lycaon, you could use him as the main DPS. He's not really going to be breaking damage records, but Lycaon can always be dealing ice damage, the restraint boosts basic attack damage, and Sukaku provides great buffs for any ice agent. The third ally can be any of the other supports, but Astra is the premier limited S-rank support, and she's a great enabler for these non-meta DPS units. Since we're talking about fun playstyles, I'll also mention DPS Sukaku. Lycaon can set her up with more stunning and Ice Red Shred. To be honest, I think M6 Sukaku is a better DPS if you're looking for something a little non-standard. Let's talk about Lycaon's Mindscapes briefly. M1 increases the days of EX Special by 12%. If you do a charged EX Special, this buff is increased by another 10%. This effect can occur every 8 seconds, which is fine since generally you're not going to be doing 2 EX Specials back to back. Very simple Mindscape to boost EX Special days. For Mindscape 2, when you stun an enemy or when you trigger a squad member's chain attack, Lycaon gets 5 energy, and a little bonus energy for doing what he should already be doing. Mindscape 4 states, when attacked during basic attacks or his regular special, Lycaon gets a shield equal to 7.5% of his max HP for 15 seconds. During this time, Lycaon gets increased anti-interrupt level, which is good. This gives you the option to face tank a little so Lycaon can get to his higher days moves. This shield can reapply every 15 seconds. Last, for Mindscape 6, when any charge attack hits an enemy, they get a debuff that makes them take 10% increased damage from Lycaon only. This stacks 5 times and lasts for 12 seconds. You can apply 1 stack per individual charge attack, but the 12-second timer is refreshed on any trigger. Basically, M6 is the DPS Mindscape. Do 5 charge attacks of any kind, and Lycaon will now get a 50% damage bonus from all of his moves. Fairly easy to keep active if Lycaon's the one on field. Even if you're not going to be playing DPS Lycaon, extra damage is extra damage, never going to say no to that. For the after party tips section, I only have a couple things to talk about. First off, we didn't mention Lycaon's dash attack. This is a simple physical damage slide. Unfortunately, this move isn't the best gap closer. Thanks to his charged basics, always dealing ice damage, the dash attack is also basically the only move in Lycaon's kit that should be dealing physical damage. Similar to the dodge counter input, you can continue to hold the basic attack button to go directly into the first charged basic. Not really a shortcut, but just one less button press. Next, let's talk about Lycaon's iframes more. As mentioned earlier, while in the era of his 4th and 5th basic attacks, Lycaon has some decent invulnerability. When doing the 3-part charged basic attacks, this is the 2nd and 3rd moves. Again, you can always release the button early to do the level 1 charge for that last string. Some things to note though is that Lycaon is vulnerable as he lands on the ground from these moves. If the enemy is doing an ongoing attack or just a really fast follow-up, you should consider dodging out instead of finishing the landing. Instead of getting hit and knocked back, doing the dodge counter will be better. Overall, despite being a standard gacha S-ring from launch, Lycaon has held up quite well throughout ZZZ's first year. He works nicely with all the Season 1 ice agents and is a simple on-field stunner for the most part. You need some slight management to upkeep his Ice Red Shred, but a 30-second timer is quite generous. You can get a little more advanced with buffing drive disc sets and freeze procs during stun phases. However, if you just want someone to get stuns quickly, then Lycaon will do the job just fine. Thank you for watching, have fun with Lycaon, and I will see you in the next video.